When you're ready.
60 out of 72 million minors in the U.S. are active, engaging in some sort of sport or physical activity. Between recreational and competitive leagues, there are numerous sports available for kids to try. These range from popular sports to less common activities. However, all are important to ensuring the next generation grows up supported by the long-term effects of youth sports. With all the important benefits, there are also significant issues that arise with youth sports. Some concerns are visible, such as funding for smaller sports availability, and other concerns stem from potentially producing destructive relationships between parents and their young athletes. But with all these drawbacks, there are attainable solutions, and the prevalence of youth sports is paramount to creating the best possible future for the world. This is the bar graph showing the demographics of youth sports. Showing the 6 to 12 age group, this is very important because it's the largest group of youth athletes, and participating at this level sets the stage for all future athletic endeavors. Shown here, in 2020, more males participated in sports than women, more young children with substantial income participated, and more white children participated than any other ethnicity. These ones shown are the largest demographics, but other gaps do exist between rural and urban communities. Another important item shown is the overall decline we see in columns, where participation since 2012. This is best shown in the male and female columns, where participation since 2012 has dropped significantly. This is caused by a variety of factors such as high participation costs, unworkable schedules, and increasing competitiveness. These factors will be covered in greater detail later on. Youth sports have complicated, interconnected drawbacks. The biggest ones stem from a child or family's interest in the sport, what opportunities are available, and possible social repercussions. The cost to participate in sport can vary. The annual cost is due to equipment costs, league fees, and travel fees. Research from the Aspen Institute found that parents spend $692 on average a year annually for their child to play sports. Some sports require more capital than others, like hockey, where parents can expect to spend upwards of $2,500 a year. Injuries, time commitment, and competitiveness also hinder a child's interest to play sport. Injuries are common, so they are a major concern for parents. Certain sports can result in serious injuries that affect the quality of life for a kid and can even result in fatal accidents. If practices and events are too frequent, some kids may not be able to attend them all, resulting in a lack of play time and skill progression vital to be successful in their sport. And being successful in their sport is increasingly important. More and more zealous parents are screaming at the referees in their kids' games. And between the kids, they may find themselves fighting for spots on the field and later on fighting for scholarships. Referring back to the chart shown earlier, it is evident that there is inequality in the sporting world, and that is seen across gender, race, location, and income. Underfunded sports are a big issue as well. When organizations don't provide the necessary fields, equipment, and vital personnel, poor participation takes a nosedive. This is most seen with underfunded women's sports. The Women's Sports Foundation found that girls have 1.3 million less opportunities than boys have. Another factor they found was the lack of positive role models, which is a direct result of faltering participation during youth. This continues from the recreational level. During the 2021 NCAA basketball season, the country saw this inequality firsthand with the unfair equipment in the men's versus women's weight rooms. Parents want what is best for their kids, but this is taken to the extreme when parents take the reins of the child's life and put them on a path to what they believe is success. Now, if the parents are financing and supporting their child to play a sport they're interested in, this creates a very healthy dynamic between the parents and the child. But when parents push their child too far, like forcing them to play a sport they have no interest in, the relationship between them becomes strained. This dynamic is linked to depression and anxiety disorders within the kids. This is shown in an excerpt from the namesake. This novel follows a boy named Gogol living in a Bengali family in America, and he must navigate a vastly different culture. Gogol is named after a Russian writer, but he cannot stand his name because he thinks it's unprofessional and people aren't taking him seriously. To him, this name made sense when he was a toddler living in India. But as he grew up in America, where his whole culture is unconventional, he resents his parents for putting him in that situation. Peers are another source of pressure for kids. But research studying developmental neuroscience found that peer pressure, like pressure to stay in a sport, isn't as strongly received as thought before. Some of these issues can be sorted by allocating funds to increase opportunities for everyone. Other issues, like those between family members, are more complicated and to be fixed. They need to establish some sort of open dialogue to facilitate any arguments or qualms. All the drawbacks are substantial and important, but they are minimized when they are juxtaposed with the benefits of participating in youth sports. The benefits of youth sports are seen in social, personal, and economic settings. According to the Center for Disease Control, physical activity stimulates the brain and improves cognitive health. This is extremely important for young children because at that age, the brain is at an important developmental stage, and that must be stimulated. This isn't theoretical. Research shows that active kids can have 40% higher test scores and are 15% more likely to go to college. Health benefits are both physical and mental. Active kids can be 1/10 as likely to be obese. There can be less prevalence of drug use and unsafe sex, and they may have higher self-esteem. Once they get a job, they can see other substantial benefits. As a result of an active childhood, like better pay and better productivity. This does not only benefit themselves, but their offspring as well. Continuing an active lifestyle sees hereditary benefits that cannot be procured anywhere else. One example being reduced risk of heart disease, which is a leading cause of death in the world. Also important is the reduced likelihood of having a disability, which makes way for a better quality of life. Emotional benefits are very strong. According to a study done in 2019, kids who don't exercise are twice as likely to have mental health problems. And continued participation in sports shows an increase in confidence and teamwork, both vital skills to have when kids surpass adolescence. Youth sports host both a wide variety of benefits and drawbacks, both including physical and mental factors. But when kids are supported properly by their parents and peers, the effects of youth sports are overwhelmingly positive to the kids and the world around them.
A couple of questions. Excuse me. How did your research question evolve as you moved through the research process?
Originally, I was just wondering what the biggest factor was for kids participating in youth sports, like where the most pressure came from. But upon doing research into that, I learned that it wasn't just one thing, but it was a combination of a lot of things, so I widened my research question.
Okay, thank you. What are the implications of your findings to the community?
It encourages everyone to seek an active lifestyle because it has benefits across all areas of life.
Okay, thank you.